Oh, it's that time, my friends. Gear guide time here today with Grapefruit Cookie, the last of the Citrus Squad, and we have the cookie, the gear, and the guide for you here and everything that you need to know. Thank you for tuning in here. As always, we'll break down Grapefruit Cookie here for you. Again, one of the last Citrus Squad cookies. Additionally, we'll work our way through the Beascuits, the toppings, the tarts, everything that you need to know to be successful with this one here, and how to get Grapefruit Cookie leveraged for you right out of the gate. So let's get into it here. First and foremost, like I said, this is the last Citrus Squad cookie here, which makes 4. Additionally, here it's a charge cookie, a front cookie, and an elemental electric type. Now, a couple things on this. This is what we have for the moveset. Catch Me If You Can. We have a 13-second cooldown here. Dashes forward on her roller skates, sending the enemies into a daze and reducing attack and defense for the affected enemies. Grapefruit Cookie will grant an HP shield to herself and taunt enemies when her skill ends. Additionally, her damage resist will increase while her HP shield is active. The Citrus Party effect is amplified with more Citrus Squad cookies in the team. The Citrus Squad will make unforgettable summer memories when they're all together. Grapefruit Cookie's damage resist increases for each Citrus Squad cookie on the team as well. So this makes it a little bit interesting as we kind of think through the spectrum here that I like to talk about for our cookies. So let's continue to read and figure out what that impact looks like. So a couple things. Damage right there, 76% of attack every 0.3 seconds for 1.8 seconds. We have taunt there for 5 seconds. That's a pretty good taunt. We also got a defense minus 35% there, 19, almost 20%. Both stack once for 10 seconds. HP shield, 45% of max HP for 5 seconds. Pretty powerful. Now, damage resist with HP shield there at 15%. And then damage resist plus 8% per Citrus Squad cookie, and the team capped at 32. So if we look at that, we get 32 if we got 4 in here, plus another 15%. We're already almost at 50% just on the damage resist. So we're going to talk through some different ways that you can leverage this particular cookie. Now, Citrus Party here as well. A couple things here. We do have the 5% per Citrus Squad capped at 20% on the crit damage there as well. Electricity type up 7%. And if there are 4 more cookies on the start of the battle, Citrus Party buff is applied there as well. So now that we have all 4, we can leverage everything. So this is really how we want to think about this cookie a little bit differently. And let's go ahead and level this thing up, and then we'll talk about that here in a second. All right, so there we go, level 90, just like that. We got a ton of guides on how to get these jellies and watching, and lots of free of these pieces right there from the event. So make sure that you're doing that. When it comes to Catch Me If We Can, let's go ahead and we'll max level this. You're gonna see it's mostly the damage that's affected here. All right, so we'll pull that down to 60. There you go. And what's going to happen? Let's go ahead and look at that again, up. So that's the only thing that scales when you level up, is going to be that attack piece. So very, very important there to pay attention. All right. So what does that mean for our cookie here? Well, it means a couple of different things, my friends. It's going to be this right here. Let me close that. And that. All right, there we go. So here's what that means. Beascuits, first and foremost, a couple of things. We do have our electric type, just like this. So let's go ahead. We're going to see if we can get lucky here and attune it. All right, we will crack into our 5 million crystals, my friends. We have done it, and there we go. All right, we're good. And let's go ahead and we'll level all this up. Perfect. All right, and we'll equip this. Now, a couple things on this Beascuit here. A lot of players always ask me, if we go to reset here, we do have a ton of these right here. Many of you have that as well. Yes, you can constantly do reset all. You do get a fairly okay chance to get 3 of a kind. It will actually warn you. So yes, sometimes doing that is going to be better. Just right here, we're going to leave it like this for now, just for this video before fully tweaking. Now, a couple things here though. Here is some key aspects on the bonus effects. If you're going to play in the PvP, make sure this is the only spot you can use damage resist bypass. You can use it here. And because of the fact that this cookie and many more cookies are getting much more damage resist bypass, you're going to need a lot more on this, so upwards to like 50%. Now, because we're electric and lots of electric type damage is really nice, this is a great spot to put electric type damage here as well. Something for you to keep in mind. Now, outside that, there's a couple things here that we do need to consider. The cooldown a little bit is going to be nice, but the biggest things that I would start to think about putting here is attack, because we save the scaling on attack. Additional damage resist if you need it, or HP, because that higher HP, we're going to get a really nice shield there. So that's something to keep in mind too, that you can use there. And it's really going to depend on if this is going to be kind of your main frontliner, if it's a secondary one as well. If it's the secondary one and not going to be kind of characterized as your full first tank, definitely lean in on that attack side is kind of where I would go. Okay. And then more of that electric type damage, because I like the PvE events, and that's super helpful from that perspective. All right. So now when it comes to our toppings, what does this mean when it comes to toppings? Well, first and foremost, as always, we do have those lovely resonant ones. Let's go see if we can find those here real quick. I don't think I have a ton of them. Those are the newer ones for the new cookies. There we go. Grapefruit Cookie. We could use these as well. So something to keep in mind for you here. You can use these if you'd like to. And the ones that I would go with could be potentially crit. Just because, no, I'm just kidding. You're going to go right here. You're going to go with raspberry. So we haven't talked about crit. Oh, so that's why I was doing that. Anyway, and it's getting really late. Seafarer raspberry right here. Go ahead and go with attack. If you are worried about the damage resist, you can grab some more right there. But with that, my friends, the other thing to keep in mind is that you can absolutely mix and match with other ones here, like this one right here. So we'll go ahead. We're going to go multiple upgrade. We're going to go grab 5. There we go. Auto upgrade. Now, while we're doing that, I get a lot of players that always ask me about these right here. For these resonance, you can always go in and get the mystery ones. They give you an opportunity to pick. That's how you do that. I get tons of questions on that. So let me just use that 2 seconds there, so that you know. Okay, so back to it. Let's go ahead and equip. We're going to get all of our pieces on here real quick. Perfect. All right, so we got our 5. And then what we're going to do is on our topping tart, we're going to lean in. Let's see if we got, oh, we don't have another one. All right. So lots of cleanup on my topping tarts here, clearly. All right, are we ever going to find them? Here we go. Oh my gosh, I got 1 left. All right, I need to do some crafting. They are in the mine, if you are curious. I got that question here today, actually, too. All right, so here we go. All right, back to our toppings. So now, a couple things here. What you do want to focus in on is if you have the resonant, these are going to be much narrower in terms of most effects, a little bit higher, just so you know. You can mix and match because you don't get to everything. Now, what I would do is, again, add more attack. So you got a really attack forward Grapefruit Cookie here, having everything kind of in that space and taking advantage of all the bonus effects. You're really going to be able to think about how you want to leverage these. As a standalone, you're probably going to need that damage resist, but in this case, we're going to be an attack. Now, attack, HP, and damage resist are really nice. Some cooldown will also be helpful. And then even at worst case scenario, some defense there. So we got defense, damage resist, a little bit stronger damage resist attack, cooldown. We got some attack, amplify buff, those kinds of things. Okay. So let's back out. And the topping tart, I like to keep it generally the same. So that's why we're all on attack and take advantage of the plus 12 right there. Okay. And then a lot of players like to see all my stats. So there you go. You can see all the stats right there. And we are set. Okay. We got good attack at 93. We got our initial cooldown at 4 seconds. We got decent health there at 400k. All right, and now it's time for one of my favorite pieces. Time for the run. All right, so let's go for it here. Now, if you haven't already, you can check out my rhythm workshop. Pretty awesome, pretty fun. We did win the second try. All right, here we go. Over to episode 8 here, 829, my friends. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna move over. We'll move these out first. Let's go find Grapefruit Cookie. And then you can see how all these bonus effects work as well here in a second. The nice thing about seeing this too is Grapefruit Cookie is going to be the one in the front. We got a magic, we got ambush, and then we have a support. There we go. And in this case, we get to see Grapefruit Cookie all by Grapefruit Cookie self. All right, here we go. Holy, look at that. Ooh, now we can turn that off auto. So you can see the attack just like that. Pretty solid, pretty solid. Now again, watch this. Now you see the shield right there. Pretty awesome. All right, we'll hit it again. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Let's see if we can get through. There we go. Just right under that 10-second, which is perfect for getting all those debuffs on and making it happen just like that. So awesome, my friends. All right, so I'll do one more run so you can see what it looks like with the Citrus Squad now, because I think that is pretty cool to see and pretty important just to see all 4 of those cookies, and make sure that you're leveraging them. All right, here we go, here we go, and here we go. Look at that. All together for the squad. Not bad, my friends. Look at this. Everything up. Citrus party. Holy cow, look at all this stuff. Awesome, look at that. Ooh, not bad. And there you have it, my friends. The completion of the Citrus Squad, Grapefruit Cookie, the run, the breakdown, everything that you need to know here today about this brand new cookie, locked, loaded, and ready to go for you here today. So with that, thank you for tuning in. As always, questions, comments, let me know. I love to hear from you. Additionally, my friends, I appreciate your support. This is the last cookie. We covered everything that you need to know here, from the attack all the way to that even damage resist HP, plus a little bit of that cooldown, get you to below that 10 seconds and get you all set there here with Grapefruit Cookie. With that, my friends, till next time, keep on running.